You misunderstood, Lord of the Flies. What if there were no rules, no adults, no consequences? How long would it take before everything falls apart? Lord of the Flies by William Golding follows a group of boys stranded on a deserted island after a plane crash. At first, they try to build a civilized society. But slowly, fear, power, and chaos take over. Because the real danger isn't the island, it's what's inside them. The story begins when a group of British boys are stranded on a remote island after a plane crash during wartime. With no adults around, they must organize themselves to survive. Two boys quickly emerge as leaders, Ralph and Jack. Ralph is chosen as chief. He represents order, cooperation, and the desire to maintain civilization. With the help of Piggy, an intelligent but physically weaker boy, Ralph sets rules, including maintaining a signal fire to attract rescue. Jack, on the other hand, leads the choir boys and is focused on hunting. He represents power, instinct, and a growing desire for dominance. At first, the boys try to work together. They build shelters and maintain the fire. But tensions begin to grow. The younger boys, referred to as Litluns, start talking about a mysterious beast on the island. Fear spreads, even though no real evidence exists. Jack uses this fear to gain influence. He promises protection from the beast, appealing to the boys' emotions rather than logic. As time passes, the signal fire is neglected, and a passing ship fails to notice them. Ralph sees this as a devastating failure, while Jack becomes more focused on hunting and control. Eventually, Jack breaks away and forms his own tribe. His group abandons rules and embraces violence and ritual. They paint their faces, losing their sense of identity and responsibility. A key turning point occurs when the boys kill a pig and place its head on a stick as an offering to the beast. This becomes the Lord of the Flies, a symbol of the darkness within them. Meanwhile, a boy named Simon discovers the truth: the beast is not real. It is a manifestation of their own fear and inner savagery. When Simon tries to tell the others, he is mistaken for the beast during a frenzied ritual and is brutally killed. After this, the descent into chaos accelerates. Piggy is later killed when Roger, one of Jack's followers, deliberately drops a boulder on him. The conch shell, once a symbol of order and authority, is destroyed at the same moment. Ralph becomes the last remaining symbol of civilization. Jack's tribe hunts him like an animal, setting the island on fire to flush him out. In the final moments, Ralph runs onto the beach, only to be rescued by a naval officer, who is shocked by the boys' behavior. The boys, suddenly confronted with reality, begin to cry, realizing what they have become. At its core, Lord of the Flies is about human nature, and the idea that civilization is much more fragile than we think. The novel challenges a comforting belief that people are naturally good and that society corrupts them. Instead, Golding suggests the opposite. He argues that the potential for violence, cruelty, and chaos exists within all humans. Society, rules, and structure are what keep those instincts under control. When those structures disappear, the darker side of human nature can emerge. One of the central meanings of the novel is the conflict between civilization and savagery. Ralph represents order, rules, and cooperation. Jack represents instinct, power, and dominance. Their conflict is not just personal, it reflects a deeper struggle within humanity itself. The boys' descent into savagery is gradual. At first, it seems small, neglecting responsibilities, arguing, breaking rules. But over time, it escalates into violence and murder. This progression shows how easily moral boundaries can shift. Another key idea is the power of fear. The beast is never real in a physical sense, but its psychological impact is enormous. Fear drives the boys to abandon logic and embrace superstition. It also allows Jack to gain power. This reflects how fear can be used to manipulate people, making them more willing to accept control and violence. The novel also explores the loss of identity. When the boys paint their faces, they feel free to act without consequences. This anonymity removes personal responsibility. It suggests that people are more capable of cruelty when they feel unseen or unaccountable. There is also a strong message about the illusion of civilization. The boys come from a structured, educated society. But that background is not enough to maintain order on the island. This implies that civilization is not something we permanently achieve, it is something we must constantly maintain. Finally, the novel is about self-awareness. Simon is the only character who truly understands the nature of the beast. His death symbolizes the rejection of truth. The boys are not just afraid of the beast, they are afraid of what it represents. The meaning of the novel, then, is deeply unsettling. The greatest threat to humanity is humanity itself.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow.
1. Civilization versus savagery. This is the central theme of the novel. Civilization represents order, rules, and cooperation. Savagery represents instinct, violence, and chaos. The boy's journey shows how fragile civilization is. Without structure, it quickly breaks down. 2. The darkness within humans. Golding suggests that evil is not external, it is internal. The beast is a projection of the boy's inner fears and impulses. This idea challenges the notion that people are inherently good. 3. Power and control. Jack's rise to power shows how leadership can shift from cooperation to domination. He uses fear and reward to control others, creating a system based on loyalty and violence. 4. Fear and manipulation. Fear drives many of the boy's decisions. It clouds judgment, encourages irrational behavior, and allows leaders like Jack to gain influence. 5. Loss of innocence. At the beginning, the boys are children trying to play at being adults. By the end, they have committed acts of violence that destroy their innocence. Ralph. Ralph represents order, leadership, and civilization. He struggles to maintain structure, but gradually loses control as the group shifts toward chaos. Jack. Jack symbolizes savagery and the desire for power. He embraces instinct and violence, becoming increasingly authoritarian. Piggy. Piggy represents intelligence, logic, and rational thought. Despite his ideas, he lacks the authority to enforce them, highlighting the limits of reason without power. Simon. Simon represents truth and moral insight. He understands the nature of the beast, but his message is rejected. The conch shell. The conch represents order and authority. As long as it is respected, there is structure. Its destruction marks the complete collapse of civilization. The Lord of the Flies. The pig's head symbolizes the darkness within humans. It represents the idea that evil is not external, it comes from within. The signal fire. The fire represents hope and connection to civilization. Its neglect shows the boys shift away from rescue and toward savagery. What actually happens? Ralph is hunted by Jack's tribe. The island is set on fire, creating chaos, but also attracting a naval officer, who rescues the boys. Why it happens? The rescue is ironic. The same fire meant to destroy Ralph ends up saving him. This highlights the unpredictability of events, and the thin line between destruction and survival. What the ending means. Interpretation 1. The fragility of civilization. The boys quickly return to order when an adult appears. This suggests that civilization depends on authority, but also raises questions about whether that authority is any better. Interpretation 2. Loss of innocence. The boys' tears at the end represent a realization. They are no longer innocent. They understand what they have done, and what they are capable of. Quote 1. Maybe there is a beast, maybe it's only us. Meaning. This captures the central idea that the real danger is internal. Quote 2. The thing is, fear can't hurt you any more than a dream. Meaning. This shows the difference between rational thought and emotional reaction. Quote 3. Which is better, to have rules and agree, or to hunt and kill? Meaning. This reflects the central conflict between civilization and savagery. Quote 4. Ralph wept for the end of innocence. Meaning. This final moment captures the emotional impact of the boy's transformation. Final thoughts. Lord of the Flies is a powerful and unsettling exploration of human nature. It shows that civilization is not guaranteed, and that beneath the surface, there is always the potential for chaos. The novel forces us to ask a difficult question. If the rules disappeared, who would we become?
Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting discoveries.